Well, this time it's just Pete for a change. And today is December 31st. It's been 3 years since I had to say goodbye to my good friend Gary Klar. I had met Gary during my convention heydays. For whatever reason, we hit it off. We became really close friends. We used to talk all the time on the phone. When he came up to do Cinema Wasteland, we went out and ate, had a great time, and like I said, we always stayed in touch. And Gary was a great fan of this, The Gunfighters of the Drunken Master deal. He had the first book. He had emailed me, or no, he didn't email me. He only emailed me toward the end of his life because he wasn't a computer guy. But he had to learn how to do it because, unfortunately, the disease he had, ALS, robbed him of his voice early on. So, but before that happened, he had asked me to send him another copy of the original Gunfighters, and I said, I already gave you one. What happened? He goes, well, I've been marking all these notes in the things here, and he goes, we got a movie here. I said, you're not the first person who's told me that, but he goes, no, there's a movie here. What we got to do is we got to take off for a month. You get a dog sitter. We'll just get a cabin out in the middle of nowhere. We'll just sit there for 30 days and we'll bang out a script. Okay, so in the interim, I had written 2 more editions of the book because now it's a trilogy. And in the 3rd book, I said, Gary, I want to stick you in the book. He goes, what do you mean? I said, not you personally, but the character you played, Steele. Loudmouth, big mouth, military guy. And he goes, yeah, it sounds cool. I said, yeah, but I'm going to have a bear kill you. He goes, what do you mean you're going to have a fucking bear kill me? I said, well, I got to work this out, but you're going to get killed by a bear. He goes, okay, go for it. So we did it. And like I said, we never got that chance to sit down and actually do this. And Gary was bound and determined to do it because he saw a movie in this and really liked the work. Like I said, this is going on 3 years now. It was rough when I had found out because we couldn't communicate because he couldn't talk. And then he learned how to email, and we were going back and forth basically up until the day he passed away. And it just ripped my guts out. I knew it was coming. It was, it was inevitable. ALS is incurable. And he said he just wanted to go out with a certain amount of dignity, in life, that he was just pissed that this thing had gotten to him. And honestly, I was pissed that it had gotten to him too. So to wrap it up, Gary was one of the real guys. He was bailing out of the conventions toward the end too because he saw the whole hypocrisy of the whole thing and how things had changed and how things went from being fan friendly to being nothing more than a cash grab and to line the pockets of the promoters and guest reps and shit like that. We had both, seen it at its probably its best, and now we were seeing it at its worst. And I think he said after they did the 35th anniversary of Day of the Dead, that was going to be it for him. Unfortunately, he never made it to that. Like I said, I'll just say it right here. It was an honor and a privilege to be with him on his last journey. To be there every day for him, to give him encouragement, to tell him what was going on, whatever. It was an honor and a privilege. And I don't take things like that lightly. That's why I will never forget my friend. And like I said, this marks the 3rd anniversary of his passing. And Gary, in a world of fucking scumbags in this convention circuit, you were one of the good guys. You always took care of the fans. If there was a guy who had a military background, police, fireman, stuff like that, you never charged him. And that's a sterling thing to do. And it just takes me back that, so many of the good guys are no longer here, especially Gary. And I just honor him by celebrating his passing. And Gary and I had a deal because we used to talk about a lot of shit, not just movies, life in general. I mean, this wasn't like a movie friendship. This wasn't like, call and talk about, Day of the Dead and all that other shit. We used to talk about life. And one of the things we talked about was what comes after this. And he says, what do you think, Pete? Is it like when you go into surgery, you just sort of fade out and that's it? And I said, well, I honestly don't know, but I do know that, my father had passed away in December also. And the night he died, 15 minutes after I got the call, he was here. And you might think this is bullshit, but The 2 times I did go down to Jersey when he was alive, I took Boots with me. I was sitting with my back to a wall. Blanca, who he had never met, all of a sudden started backing up and growling. Boots was standing there wagging his tail, so I'm pretty sure he was here. And my deal with Gary is, that when you do go, just remember to keep an eye out for me so you can scream and yell so I'll know where to go when it's my turn. And I'm sure he's up there now, him and Pilato screaming and yelling at each other, and George Romero refereeing the whole thing, as he probably had to do on the set. But brother, I really miss the fuck out of you. I miss you every day. And I'm in touch with, Carolyn. I just talked to her a couple days ago, and you are very missed, and you will not be forgotten as long as I have anything to do with it. So that's all I got to say about it. And I'll go off character and say, God bless you, Gary Klar. You were one of my best friends, and I missed the fuck out of you. So until next time, stay safe and never forget those who have been in your life, because as long as you remember them, they're still in your life. So again, stay safe. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the flip side.